We were coworkers. This was during COVID times. You really spend a lot of time with your coworkers, and it felt like there was just a lot of free time in general. One day, she asked me if I was a Christian, and she offered me a devotional book that we could do together. I didn't think that much of it because it was a book from an ordinary publisher, and I'd seen those books before. But I think we only really read it 1 or 2 times before she gave up. Later, I found out that other staff at our school and her friends were also members. It was always just a little bit off. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something felt not right about it. At first, she invited me to an apologetic seminar that happened from Tuesday to Thursday night. I only attended 2 of the meetings because I went to my church on Wednesday. But the strange thing was that there were almost no people at the seminar. If there's a special guest at church, there will almost always be a large amount of attendees, but there were almost none. The contents were also very not that special, but they kept acting like it was. Afterwards, one of their deacons came to interrogate me if I was really a Christian or if I was really saved. He didn't seem to have a chance to try to convince me because of my answers. So he just started to ask me about members of my church and if they were really saved, and how could I know? This was really off-putting to me, but I had already made up my mind that my obligation to visit my coworker's church was already over. The other thing I noticed is that the members were over-extravagant in giving gifts or having meals. They were not really persuasive with their words, but they seemed to make you feel like they were these super generous friends. Later on, the deacon also wanted to meet me privately for dinner a few times, which led to me cutting them off completely. They have a very specific interpretation of the end times, to an almost obsessive degree. Members seem to be afraid of truly being saved, and my coworker and her friends admitted to being baptized multiple times just to be sure. There seemed to be a lot of fear around doing anything wrong, and doubts that Christians in other churches could possibly be true Christians. I'm not sure what their actual meetings with members are like, but I assume that instead of giving them security and salvation, they are hearing how they don't want to be left out. I think that this group, above all others, highlights the fact that you should really know what the Bible says to be aware of a counterfeit gospel. I didn't realize this group was actually a cult. I kind of felt like they were a bit of an extreme group that I just didn't agree with. They also presented themselves as a Baptist church and not as some kind of novel church. The thing that is a little bit frightening is that if I had not known what they were talking about, or been able to defend my faith, or have doubts about them, I can see how easily it would be to join them. I urge everyone to be familiar with the Bible so that you will know when something is not right. There is really no other way to know the truth from a lie if you don't know the truth. Thank you.